Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson Hagman and Ranking Member Hoyle. It's nice to be here in this committee. I was a member for 18 years. It's familiar turf, and it's nice to be back. I'm excited about the legislation, the bipartisan legislation that I have to present to you. My bill, H.R. 338, Every Drop Counts Act, is a part of a bipartisan effort. Glad that we've got Christine Compton from the Irvine Ranch Water District here to testify on the benefits of this bill. As many of you know, I represent, along with my colleagues, what we think is the most prolific productivity of agriculture anywhere in the country, and therefore the world, the breadbasket of the San Joaquin Valley, where water is the lifeblood that keeps the critical industry going, as we like to say in California, in the valley, where water flows, food grows. Where water flows, food grows. And I have been a participant in these efforts for decades, chairing the State Senate Agriculture and Water Committee back in the day, and obviously have done a lot of work on water. And I believe in subscribing to using all the water tools in our water toolbox, and that includes surface storage supply, it includes conservation, it includes water transfers for best use, and it includes groundwater recharge, which is what this legislation is all about. Groundwater plays a critical role in California's water supply, often acting as a main source of water in areas without access to surface water. Yet, sadly, and it's just not in California, but in the Midwest and other parts of the country, we've overdrafted that groundwater in really critical ways. And it's had damaging effect to land subsidence, not only in the valley, but elsewhere. I'm talking about land subsidence of 10 to 20 feet and more that has disrupted existing infrastructure that we've had in place. And so I liken the impact, and let me give you some examples. In the San Joaquin Valley, land subsidence has impacted the Kern Canal, which has seen capacity to deliver water in a federal project that was developed in the 1950s by 60%, reduced the capacity of that system that was built in the 50s by 60% in some areas. Similarly, the Delta Mendota Canal has resulted in submerged canal surface turnouts and drain inlets and bridges and pipelines and control structures, again, because of the groundwater impacts and the subsidence that we've taken place. You know, I liken it to, common sense. When I first went to Fresno State, I got my checking account. I thought it was pretty hot stuff. My dad told me, he said, "Hey kid, you can only write those checks as long as you're making deposits." Well, this is the problem with our groundwater. Unless we have a balance, unless we're making deposits, we can't continue to utilize that groundwater. And so California, back in the about 10 years ago, passed the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, known as SGMA. It's otherwise known but it's a difficult piece of law, but it's necessary. And we're attempting to comply with it. We have milestones in 2025, 2030, 2035, ultimately to come into compliance to bring our groundwater in balance with our surface water and our multiple uses. That's the goal, and we're working on it. And it combats land subsidence to ensure that we have a sustainable supply of that water for agriculture. Collaborative efforts spurred by SGMA and recent droughts are working. These partnerships between farmers, ranchers, state and local officials in a pivotal year, 2023, was able to lead to the recharge of 1.6 million acre-feet of groundwater in that period of time between 2023 and 2024, anywhere between 1.6 and 2.2 million acre-feet. That's a lot of water that has raised the surface. And to better manage California's groundwater and provide our farmers with more tools out of those 4 tools in our water toolbox for management. Along with my colleague Russ Fulcher from Idaho, I've introduced this legislation, Every Drop Counts. Now I want to put 2 pictures here because those of us who deal with water all the time, we know about what a 30,000 acre-feet of water looks like, or maybe 100,000 acre-feet of water looks like, because we deal with it all the time. This picture poster is Barrett Reservoir in San Diego County. And this represents about 34,000 acre-feet of water. So you can understand what it looks like to put 1.6 million or 2.2 million acre feet into our ground supply. This here is the poster that I think is in Doug Lamoffa's district, Black Butte, Lake, Glenn, and Tahoma counties. This reservoir has 144,000 acre feet. What this would do, this legislation, Every Drop Counts, would expand groundwater projects from 30,000 acre feet, which is the limit under the current law, to allow for projects up to 150,000 acre feet, or the size of that second reservoir that I showed you. So it's very important. Let me close, because I know I'm expending on my time. That's why they kicked me off the committee a couple of years ago. Not real, but the bill also expands the eligibility criteria, not only from 30,000 to 150,000 acre feet, but it would include aquifer stabilization efforts to ensure more projects in western United States, like the Eastern Snake River Plant Aquifer in Idaho, and other projects that would be very important. I would like for unanimous consent to enter in the record the Farm Family Water Alliance testimony. They couldn't be here. The Idaho Water Resources Board, and the letter of support for the San Luis Delta Mendota Water Authority, of which I work with very closely. All of these organizations and groups support it, and I'd like to unanimous
Without
consent.
objection, so ordered.
I'll close on this last statement, Madam Chairperson. You've been very patient, and thank you. To adequately prepare for the next mega drought across the West, because we know we have floods and we have droughts, this bipartisan effort helps spurs and not stifle investment into better water management for our groundwater, for agriculture, for urban and environmental uses. And I thank you for the consideration in this bill. I'd be happy to answer any questions. As you can see, I'm excited about the legislation and to be back here in the committee. Thank you.
Thank you.